I think having vices is healthy for you. And I know that's not a very Christian thing to say, probably not very mainstream thing to say, but I think it's good for you. I think it's important. I think it levels you out. I think you need to be a little rambunctious once in a while. I believe it's important. I think we touched upon this a couple of years ago when I did Sober October and all that. I think alcohol is a good thing if it's used properly. I think other things can be used. Other vices are good things if they're used properly. And obviously it's all in moderation, right? But, I think that in a lot of ways, vices can be a good thing. And now why am I bringing that up? Well, it's because I watched Army of the Dead last weekend. I watched Army of the Dead. Beth wasn't home, so it was like, all right, I can watch whatever I want to watch. I'm going to watch a zombie movie. I want to watch a cool, sick action movie. And now, first of all, that movie stinks. Stinks. Way too long. Stinks. Acting's terrible. Stinks. Unrealistic. Stinks. Bad script. Stinks. And what does this have to do with vices, Matt? Well, there's interesting elements to it, right? But the big elephant in the room, if you guys didn't know, was Crystalia was supposed to be in that movie. And he was a bad boy. He was a naughty little kid, and he got removed from the movie because he's essentially a pedophile or something, or not a pedophile, but he's a weird creep. I don't know. I guess what if you're living under a rock, first of all, pack your bags. Secondly, allegedly what he did was he was like messaging underage girls at like his shows and stuff. I don't think he ever acted on it. At least there's no evidence, but he was messaging a lot of girls who were underage and trying to get them to come over. There's some, creepy messages he was sending people. Apparently he calls himself a sex addict, which shut up. Ugh. I'm a sex addict. Shut up. We all are. But then he was like just sending weird messages to people and like cheating on his pregnant fiance or girlfriend, whatever the fuck. I don't know. And there was actually some pretty damning messages on him from Reddit from like several years ago before the person had or it was on like an anonymous Reddit thread, and someone was like, "Oh, I was like 17 at the time, and I had sex with him in my hotel room." And then later on in the comments, the throwaway account on Reddit said it was Crystalia, and that was like 5 years ago. I mean, it's Reddit, and you can't believe everything you read on the internet, but the evidence doesn't look good. However, he got canceled. That's my point. He got canceled. So, like, they had to replace him in this movie. Don't worry, this is all coming back around. I'm going to connect everything here. I'm very smart. All right, so just bear with me. So he gets cut out of the movie, gets canceled. And I don't know that that was necessarily justified. I don't know that he should have been canceled forever. I mean, it's a little bit of a gray area. People seem to pounce on top of him. I'm not the biggest Crystalia fan in the world. I think he's kind of a douche. But his big thing was like, I don't drink. I don't drink, dude. Dude, I don't drink. I don't drink, dude. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what is like, I just don't want to do something that everyone else is doing. You're like, okay. All right, good one, dude. You're fucking cool. But you got to have vices. Like, I always thought, like, I heard him say that in a special or something, or I saw him in the Comedy Store once, and he said that. And I remember, I think it was with my brothers, actually. So Mike and Dave, if you're listening, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think we talked after the show, and I'm like, dude, anyone who doesn't drink, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And not like, oh, I was an alcoholic, I don't drink anymore. Not that. I'm saying, like, if you never drank in your life, which is what Crystalia was. He said, I don't drink, and I never have drank because I didn't want to do what everyone else was doing. I just never got into it. That's a red flag for me, because that means you have something else deep down inside you. You have another vice you got to have. I'm sorry. That's how life works. You need outlets. You need things to do. And I guess his thing was being a creepy sex pervert. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm like watching this movie, and Crystalia's cut out because he apparently he was supposed to be in it, and they replaced him with Tig Notaro. Ha 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 ha. First of all, Tig. Ha. Tig. Ah. That's her name. Tig. Ah. Her name's Tig. Imagine, dude. Imagine being the parents, like in the delivery room, and the baby comes out. It's like, and the dad's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful." And I guess the dad's Sebastian Maniscalco for some reason. "Oh my God, that's the most beautiful baby I've ever seen. Ah, who's this baby? Ah, I got placenta on my eye." I'm like, "Oh, Doc, where's the placenta?" I don't know why it's Sebastian Maniscalco. And then the mom's like, "Oh, what a beautiful child. It's the first child in our life. We've been thinking about this for 9 months. What should we name this child?" And they go, "Oh, you know what she looks like? Tig. Tig. Let's name her Tig. Is it after Tigger? What's her full name? What is Tig short for? What a stupid name." Tig's a stupid name. Sorry, it is. Anyways, tangents galore today. Not super organized episode. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm not in the regular studio. We're doing this temporary location. All right, temporary fix, late episode, whatever. Okay, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, mate. I'm literally doing my best. Such a bad accent there. So she's in the movie. Tig. I can't get over that name. She has to be maybe the worst actress in the world. In the entire world. I remember I saw her once on an episode of Conan O'Brien before his show went in the tubes. It was like the new version of the Conan show on TBS. It was terrible. It was like a different set, weird sit down thing. She came on the show and she literally has the personality of a twig. So it's kind of fitting that her name is Tig because she has the personality of a twig. Hey, Tig's a twig. Twig is just like Tig. And it was like Conan was forcing words out of her. Anyways, sorry, it's not the Tig Notaro shit on show. We're all over the place today. No worries. Who cares? But she's in the movie. They replaced her. And it's so obvious that she replaced Crystalia in this movie. And the movie itself is just dumb. I mean, it's got Dave Bautista. It's got Tig Notaro. It's got that's it. It's the only people I recognized. Was there anyone else? I'm sure there's other actors in it that maybe are good or not. I don't know. But movie's 2.5 hours long. Hey, that's too long for an action movie about zombies. Hey, that's way too long. Secondly, write a better script. It's like, and if you're rewriting someone's part, spend a little bit more effort to make it not so obvious that you replaced a man's part with a woman. They're like going around. They're like, we need people to do this job. It's like Vegas gets taken over by zombies is the plot. And this guy's like, hey, I want you to go get some money for me in Vegas. And so he assembles a team. That's every action movie now. Is I got to assemble a team. Let's get a team together. Like, when in the history of the earth have we ever created a team to do something? A team of just like random ruffians. Just like, hey, let's go to a bar and scrounge up some ruffians for our team we're creating to go capture the pirates' jewels off the coast of Atlantis. It's always a team. Why do we have so many teams in these movies? It's like the expert team who's got to get access to Vegas to recover my money from the vault. So it's like Ocean's 11 meets 28 Days Later, I guess. And Dave Bautista, which, by the way, least believable looking person in the entire world. Look at Dave Bautista and tell me that it doesn't compute with your brain. The guy's so big. And I like him, by the way. He's good in Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember seeing him in WWE growing up. He was in the Blade Runner movie at the very beginning. He's a decent actor. He just looks fake. He looks like an action figure come to life. He looks like one of the small soldiers That's what he looks like. So it just doesn't compute. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's just a normal guy assembling a team. And he has this daughter who's like, I don't take no shit. I'm independent. And she's just so badass and hates her dad for some reason. Terrible character development. Least believable shit of all time. Too long. Interesting action sequences, like super fucking violent. But then when they're assembling the team, Tig Notaro comes out and she's like, they go like this. $2 million for this job. And she's like, I'm in, no worries. I don't even care, man. $2 million is enough to pay for my new choppers. Because she flies helicopters, of course. Of course she does. And I'm in, let's go. And it's like every line that comes out of her mouth is the most like, it sounds like a man would say. It doesn't sound like anything a woman would ever say. And you can tell guys wrote the script. And it's just like, oh my God. And she's chewing it. She has a fucking cigar in her mouth. Like, when have you ever seen a woman smoke a cigar? Seriously. Without just trying it. Women don't smoke cigars. You can tell, like, you can see the character coming through. And it's like, this is so lazy. And there's scenes where, like, you can tell they had to digitally edit out Crystalia when Tig Notaro is like walking through, and like the way they shoot the shots, it's like just a singular shot on her. You can tell they shot in front of a green screen for reshoots a couple months before the movie. And then like in the zoomed out shot of the team that Dave Bautista is assembling, it's like digitally redone and stuff. It's just terrible. And then she's like, I got to fly this helicopter. I came back for you, bro. And she's calling people dude and man and bro. And it's like, oh, wow, they really didn't do a good job for this. Also, too long. Don't make the zombie movie a comedy kind of zombie movie 2.5 hours. I don't care. Anyways, the longest tangent of all time, the most unorganized show of all time, but I'm thrown off. I'm off my game. I don't know what to tell you guys. So, yeah, I mean, and all I'm thinking the whole time is, okay, so they spent how many millions of dollars to digitally edit out Crystalia? And for what? Like, because he kind of got in trouble without, like, he didn't go to jail for anything. He didn't get convicted of anything. And once again, I'm not a Crystalia fan. And but is there a path back to redemption for these people? Once you're canceled on Twitter, you get removed out of your movies and we replace you with Tig Notaro, and now the movie's suffering and now you're suffering. You're not making money again. So what happens here? And this all stems back to my point at the beginning, which is if you wouldn't have been a weird creep and you would have just drank alcohol like a normal person and had that as your vice, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. But nope, you had to be fucking weird. I'm Crystalia, and I don't drink alcohol because I'm fucking sick. Yeah, dude, you're fucking cool. Nice, we get it. You don't drink alcohol. You're so much cooler than the rest of us. Like, you need a vice. Look at the chain reaction of events that came from this. It's like, you just need, and I'm not saying indulge in everything too much. You got to have your limits, obviously. But all I'm saying is people that don't drink and they've never drank. Again, if you quit drinking at some point in your life, you've already done it before. That's different. But if you've never drank in your life, I don't trust you. You have something else going on. And people who don't have any vices, like maybe you don't have, there's something lurking in the bushes of your body and of your soul and of your mind. If you don't have some kind of vice that we know about. It's a release. We're animals at the end of the day. You need something bad. And like with Crystalia, I'm sure there probably is some truth to these allegations, by the way, too. Like, yeah, he's canceled and all that. I don't think there was any due process there, but I think there was probably grains of truth, if not a lot of truth, to the shit he was doing and the shit he was accused of doing. And I think we should investigate that stuff. And I think that was his thing. That was his outlet. He was like, oh, it was just like going on shows and I was addicted to sex, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're a shit person. We're all shit people to some degree. We all have bad parts of us. Just embrace them a little bit and know how to control them. Like, we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But we're not expected to be, right? So have a vice. Have vices. I think they're okay. I think, not Christian of me to say this. So sorry if my grandma's listening. Super Catholic. I'll bet if my grandma listened to this, that would be wild. That would be wild. But she doesn't. But yeah, I mean, like there's the Christian attitude is like you have to repent for your sins and be fine all the time and like always be self-flagellating essentially and confessing your sins and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but also embrace your human nature a little bit. Right? Don't be creepy. Don't be weird. Be yourself. And if being yourself is creepy and weird, then maybe change that. I don't know. I'm not making sense, am I? But I think vices are important. Do your thing. Get out there in the world. Make better zombie movies. Don't name your kids Tig. But what's your vice? I think we just need to be honest. And I was telling my fiance, Beth, this. Obviously, my fiance, Beth. You guys know Beth. Hey, remember Beth? Maybe remember Beth, my fiance? Let me introduce you to my fiance, Beth. I think the world today has a real problem with honesty. Like a super huge problem with honesty. And I think that's one of the biggest issues in the world today. And now hear me out. Here's why. Because here's why. You assume that people are going to think something or other of you because that's what you have internalized and you think yourself. So you think other people are going to think the same thing. For example, being self-conscious about the type of makeup you're wearing or the clothes you're wearing or the people you're hanging around with or the restaurants you go to or the things you do on the weekend or your hobbies. And maybe you're embarrassed to tell someone because in your head you've built it up to be this thing where you think people are going to judge you. And so you lie, essentially. Little white lies here and there. You're just not honest. So it's not like outright lying to people's face. It's just not telling people 100% who you are. So like, oh, I don't want to tell people I love going to the movies by myself because they might think I'm a loser. But yeah, okay, maybe people will, but that's not a loser thing to do. Who gives a shit? Go to the movies by yourself and just embrace it. Be honest. Just be like, yeah, I go to the movies by myself. Someone goes, oh, really? That's lame. You go, yeah, oh, fuck you. I don't care. Yeah, go fuck yourself. I'll go see Army of the Dead by myself and make fun of it to myself. I don't care. It's great. I enjoy it. I don't need your approval. And if people are shitty to you about that stuff, they're not your fucking friends. Maybe you're self-conscious about not wearing makeup or something because you think people are going to judge you or think you're ugly. No, but that's just what you've internalized it as being. You're telling yourself that's what's going to happen. So you're not going to exude confidence when you don't do it. Maybe you're looking to try out a new outfit. You're like, hey, I want to try this new blazer on. I'm going to look dope, but I'm embarrassed to try it because my friends are going to think it's not my style. That's how you break down barriers. That's why I always say be uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. Get made fun of a little bit. Don't be afraid. Be honest. Get out there. Don't hide who you are. Throw it out there in the open. Be unequivocally you, because if that's what it is, then people know what they're getting into when they meet you. They know who you are as a person, and they're much less likely to ever leave you now because they know everything about you. So you're going to attract better people that way into your life, and they're there for life now. And there are people that you want to be around. And you are who you surround yourself with. So it's an important thing, right? Honesty is everything. And it's a corny thing to say, but I think, we all struggle with it, obviously. We all lie about stuff here and there. And I think it's important to lie sometimes. Sometimes you're lying not to hurt people's feelings. And that's, fine in some ways. But that's like, it goes back to the Reddit thing. Like, we always talk about advice from strangers on the internet. And I'm always like, just fucking talk to them. Like, that's such an easy thing. And I think it's because people don't want to be honest with one another and tell people how they really feel, because it's an uncomfortable conversation they don't want to have with the person. They don't want to confront them face on. That's why people are so passive aggressive. Honesty is weaved into every part of our life. And like, if you're honest who you are about what your vices are and who you are and like what your flaws are, that's such a more acceptable and admirable thing, you know, about your personality. Like, because then there's no bones about it. It's like, there's no secrets here. Oh, I know exactly who Bruce is. I know exactly who Bruce is. I don't know what kind of accent that was. Bruce, I'm trying to do Australian. I'm Bruce, and I love shark diving. I love drinking whiskey on the weekends. And my favorite cartoon is Barbie. Like shrimp on the Barbie? No, I just like Barbie. Barbie dolls, like Ken and Barbie. I like Ken and Barbie. I like Ken and Barbie. I like putting shrimp on the Barbie as well. And you're like, Bruce, Barbies are for girls. And he's like, oh, okay, mate. Doesn't matter to me. I just like Barbies. Whether it's shrimp on them or Ken on top of them. I like Barbies a lot. All right, Bruce. Well, at least you're being honest with me. I appreciate you, Bruce. Appreciate you, Bruce. Thanks for being honest, Bruce. Can we all be more honest? I work on it all the time, and it's hard sometimes. It's hard to be honest. Like, it's hard to be like, oh, I don't want to go out to eat there. Hey, I don't like your attitude today. Hey, I drank too much last weekend and the weekend before. Maybe I should cool it. See, vices. I'm telling you to tone down your vices. I think they're good to have, but tone them down. And being honest with other people also means being honest with yourself. You should be constantly reevaluating everything about yourself, in my opinion. Never be satisfied with who you are. And that sounds negative, but it's not. And you know what I think of when I think of that? I think of a clip from The Office where Michael Scott's going around giving people gifts at the end. I know it's so, what do they call it? Chuggy, to quote The Office. It's the new Gen Z thing to say. It's chuggy, whatever the fuck that means. Fuck you, Gen Z. You're a bunch of stupid losers who dye your hair and wear cross earrings on one ear. And you do stupid dances and wear baggy jeans. You look like fucking losers, so shut up. Anyways, I know it's chuggy to say this according to Gen Z, but when Michael Scott's going around giving people those gifts, he gives Kevin that picture of a big fat Kevin Piggy, and he's eating a piece of pizza, and Michael rips it up. And he goes, never be a caricature, Kevin. You will be thin. You will, like, whatever. You will be skinny someday. You'll lose 100 pounds, whatever. And Kevin's like, I'm pretty okay with who I am. And Michael goes, don't be. You should never settle for who you are. And I'm like, that sounds mean, but it's not. To me, I agree with that. And it's because you should be constantly improving yourself. You should be constantly looking for flaws that you have. Am I a nicer person today than I was yesterday? Am I always actively trying to do the right thing? Am I trying to be unselfish? And sometimes it's important to be selfish, but a lot of the time when you're dealing with things, especially in relationships, friendships, you know, fiancé-ships, engagements, whatever they're called. Sorry, I don't know. You should be trying to make the other people happy and figuring out the flaws in yourself. And that requires honesty. That requires you to be uncomfortable and confront things about yourself that you may not like. And that comes to vices too. Like maybe letting loose once in a while. You know, maybe like smoking cigarettes. Maybe smoking a couple cigarettes. Maybe you're smoking too many. If you're smoking a pack a day, maybe cut it down. I don't know, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. But maybe if smoking a couple cigarettes at the end of a day, it helps you relax and makes you feel better. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. You're an adult. Maybe a couple drinks at the end of a day make you feel better. I'm not going to judge you for that. Be honest with yourself. If that's going to take the pressure off from the day and help ease your anxieties, do your thing. If you like eating a super large meal once or twice a week, you know, maybe on Sundays, you like to eat like a big fat pig. That's fine. I don't care. I like doing that too. I love stuff in my fat fucking face. But just be honest. Be honest about what you are. Be honest about who you are. Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable and confront those things. You know, Crystalia wasn't honest about his life. Dirty weirdo sex creep. Because he wasn't honest about what his vices were and was hiding things and didn't want to. He was terrified of what people would think of him if he conformed to what everyone else was doing, which was drinking alcohol. Now it has this effect on this Army of the Dead movie, which sucked, which I don't know how I weaved that into this episode so many times. I don't know. I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense now, but I hope I am. I hope I'm getting through to y'all. I don't know. I've been wanting to make an episode like this since I saw the movie. I'm by myself. Obviously, no British Beth today. We're in a new location temporarily. So I'm doing this by myself. I'm going to keep doing some solo episodes. I think I'm going to release them on Fridays. Today's a Friday, so this will probably be coming out today. And then I'll do episodes, obviously, with Beth as well. So we're going to try to do two episodes a week when we can. These are going to come out sporadically, kind of like Joe Rogan episodes, the single ones. But they're going to be a little bit more like this, where we just talk. I just have a conversation with you. I want to talk about these things. What the heck is up with honesty and vices? I don't know everything. I hope this doesn't come off as me trying to be preachy or something. But this is Matt's Venting Therapy Session. Welcome back to Matt's Venting Therapy Session with Matt Thomas. I'm your host, Matt Thomas. And we're talking about honesty today and being uncomfortable and vices and Tig Notaro. I'm sure Tig is very nice in real life. Sorry if you're listening, Tig. I just don't think acting is your strong suit. And I don't think the writing for that movie was very good. And also, don't go by Tig. I'm too mean. Sorry. Anyways, guys, I love you guys very much. I appreciate y'all listening. Don't forget to, go to Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere you get podcasts. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. It helps in the rankings. Tell your friends if you like this show. This is just supposed to be me and you guys talking. Episodes like this, I'm just trying to keep you company, talk, and spark some thought. We talk together, and if this sparked a thought or a conversation with you, let me know. Leave a comment in the Instagram at WTH Pod, Victory Lap Media on YouTube. That's where all the full videos are posted. I don't post them full on Instagram anymore. It's too much work, and people seem to like the YouTube ones more, anyways. But yeah, sorry, this is a late episode this week, but that's just the way these things work. This thing worked out. And also check out the episode I did, the bonus episode I did with Evan Brammer, one of my best friends from high school. Pretty funny episode. We talk about Lithuania and the time we got in a sauna with a naked Lithuanian man and got whipped. It's a pretty funny story. We also talk about aliens, of course, rattlesnake bites, making beer, deep conversations always with Evan. So check that out. That was last week, but it's only available to listen to. There's no video for that. And that's what some more of these Friday episodes will be, only available to listen to. So I'm going to keep making more content for you guys. And also, if you want to come on the show and talk about something, my inbox is open. So if you have something interesting you want to talk about and you want to come on the show, let me know. I'm open to guests, obviously. It would obviously be better if you're based in LA, but we can do something Zoom too if you guys want. I don't care. Anyways, I'm talking too much. We will talk next week. And that's it for this week. All right, goodbye, guys. I'll see you later. Have a great weekend. I'm going to try to put this up today, which is Friday, June 4th. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Love you very much. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye.